Hello, I'm Barrister Daniel Barnett. One of the most common questions I'm asked about the furlough scheme, the coronavirus job retention scheme, is what do employers need to actually do to put their staff onto furlough? Well, the most important thing is that you've got to make sure now that we have the extension of furlough, which is going to take us from the 1st of November all the way through to the 31st of March, is that you have your paperwork in order, because HMRC, Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, are going to be cracking down on businesses that they think aren't dealing with furlough properly. They're also going to be publishing the names of all employers who claim furlough from the 1st of December. And that's partly to try to name and shame employers into not relying on the furlough scheme if they don't need to. And it's partly to try to help identify furlough fraud, so that if an employer claims furlough pay in respect of an employee who is still working, unbeknownst to that employee, the employee might see the employer's name in the list of companies claiming furlough, put two and two together, and contact the HMRC confidential helpline, otherwise known as their reporting or whistleblowing line. So what do you have to do as an employer to get the employee's agreement to be furloughed? Well, first of all, you've got to get a contractually binding agreement to them varying their hours. That's not actually very difficult. It can be done verbally, although it should always be followed up in writing. So you need to confirm their agreement in writing. They don't need to sign anything, although it's better if they do, because if they then try to argue that you didn't agree with them that they'd vary their hours, or you didn't agree with them that their pay would be reduced to 80% of their normal salary so that you could claim it on furlough and not have to top it up. If you've got something they've signed, that puts you in a much, much stronger position when you come to defend that claim. So the first thing you should do is discuss with your staff what changes you want to make, changes to their hours and changes to the pay when they're not working, so they're getting 80% furlough pay. And when you are making decisions about what changes to make and who to offer furlough to, equality and discrimination laws apply in the usual way. So make sure you're not discriminating in any way, perhaps against women who are on maternity leave or pregnant women more particularly. Perhaps you're making decisions based on age, religious belief, something else, part-time workers you might choose to focus for those you furlough. These are all potentially discriminatory issues which could land you into trouble. Now, to be eligible for the furlough payment, you have to have confirmed to the employee in writing that they've been furloughed. You've got to make sure that agreement is consistent with employment law. And I actually have a model template furlough agreement that you can use. It's available. I'm afraid it's not for free. It's available to members of the HR Inner Circle. You can see the link right now below and in the show notes below. And that's a membership club I run for smart, ambitious HR professionals. Or it's also available to people who've bought my Getting Redundancy Right package at www.gettingredundancyright.com. Have a look at those. But you've got to keep a written record of that agreement for 5 years, and keep records of how many hours your employees work and the number of hours for which they're furloughed, so that they're not working. Now, the employee doesn't need to respond in writing, but as I said, if they sign the document or confirm their agreement in an email, that places you in a much, much stronger position. If you flexibly furlough employees, you need to agree that with the employee as well, or reach a collective agreement with any trade union you recognize. And you need to keep a written agreement of that, confirming the new furlough arrangement. You don't need to place all your employees on furlough. You can continue to fully furlough or flexibly furlough as many employees as you want, provided they agree. Employees aren't allowed to provide any services for you or do any work for you during the time that you record them as being on furlough. Now, this is important. If you are agreeing a new furlough period with an employee, you're allowed to backdate it to the 1st of November 2020. You're allowed to backdate the written agreement as long as that written agreement is in place by the 13th of November 2020. I'm recording this video on the 10th of November 2020. So if you've only got till the end of this week to do it, if you're watching this video at the time I record it. Thanks so much for watching. If you find employment law information interesting or useful, please do subscribe to this YouTube channel and make sure you click the notification bell so that you get notifications of any new videos that I post. I'm Barrister Daniel Barnett from Outer Temple Chambers. Thank you so much for watching.